Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Words of Ages. Today we're going to be talking about habits of unhappy people, and if you're one of them, how you could try to fix them. The ego says that once everything falls into place, I'll feel at peace. But spirit says find your peace and then everything will fall into place. Have you ever felt that something was missing in your life? Who am I kidding? Everyone has. I used to be unhappy, but not just unhappy, miserable unhappy. I'd look at other people and wonder what they had that I didn't. I was sick of living my life, and being sick of it was the tipping point that changed it all. It's what got me moving in the direction of what made my heart sing. As I moved forward, I discovered that what was making me miserable wasn't outside of me, but the habits I had built over the years. I'd like to share with you what those habits were and how I overcame them. Waiting for clarity. I thought that in order to do what I loved and be happy, I had to know where I was going. Turns out that it wasn't that. It was just that I thought I believed. When I took actions despite feeling confused and simply did my best, I discovered that I could always take one step forward, clarity or no clarity. It was like walking in a heavy fog. As long as I kept moving forward, more of my path revealed itself. But if I stood still, nothing would happen. So the way to fix this is that don't wait for clarity. Just listen to your heart and take one tiny step forward. It doesn't have to be perfect. The second thing that you can be doing is seeking permission from others. I wanted others to tell me that I was on the right track. The more I did this, the emptier I felt inside. So why? Because I was giving my power away. Instead of listening to my own guidance system, I was relying on someone else. It was confusing and disempowering. I've never had an easy time trusting life. I worry a lot. So over the years, I've realized that trusting myself is the only way towards living a fulfilling life. Once I stopped trying to seek permission or figure things out, my inner wisdom grew stronger because it was no longer clouded by thoughts. So the fix to this is don't look to someone else for validation for your dreams. Go after what makes you come alive because that's enough. Another unhelpful habit that I have is living in the future, thinking that reaching my goals will make me happier. However, I noticed that once again, this is just a thought that I give power to. I've also noticed that I've reached plenty of goals that I thought would make me happy but didn't. Like me, you've probably heard the following phrase over and over again. Happiness comes from the inside. It's available right here, right now. For a long time I wondered, that's all fine and good, but how do I use that in my life? The answer was to witness my thoughts and let them pass by. I don't have to believe every thought that comes tells me that the future holds the key to my happiness. Once I let those thoughts pass, I notice that there's a source of joy within, always available to me. So the way to fix this is when you find yourself living in the future, just notice what you're doing. Let go of the tendency and observe what's going on right now. This is a practice, so don't worry if you don't get it perfect the first time around. When I get caught up thinking that the future will save me, I want to take big leaps. I want to hurry to my goal. Yet this behavior makes me reach my goals less likely. It introduces sloppiness into my work. It produces an aroma of selfishness. But if I let things take their time and if I let those thoughts pass, there's a sense of peace. As I write this, I'm not in a hurry. I sense the wanting to finish, but I witness it. I don't get involved. Then I return my focus to writing and letting the words flow on paper. And my soul smiles, my heart nods, my breath deepens. I remember that this is it, this is life. So the big leaps assume that happiness is in the future. Take a deep breath. Notice how much happiness is available right now. No big leaps needed, just remembering of who you are. And that is the only fix for this problem, wanting to take big leaps. Having faulty expectations. For a very long time, I believed that I could eliminate negativity from my life. But every day does not have to be a happy day. Life is sometimes difficult. The problem isn't the difficulty, but how I relate to it. If I think it shouldn't be there, I suffer. Again, it comes down to my thinking. Life is as it is. My thinking creates my experience of life. When I notice my expectations, I can let them be. This doesn't mean I don't feel the sting of something I label as bad. It simply means that I don't have to pour more gasoline on the fire. I can't control life, but I can control how I use my attention. I don't have to change my thoughts. Just notice what's going on and how I'm creating my experience of the present moment. The way to fix this is to notice how your expectations make you unhappy. To bring to your attention to this moment, do the best you can with what you have. One of the ways to really mess up your life is to take your thoughts too seriously. You're not good enough. You'll end up homeless if you follow your heart. What will people think of you? We all have those thoughts that freak us out. Yet, I have days when I don't care about those thoughts. So what's the difference between the good days and the bad days? Simply my state of being. When I feel good, my emotional immune system is more stable. I remember that my feelings are simply an indication of how trustworthy my thinking is. When I feel bad, it's a sign that I need to take my thinking less seriously. When I feel good, that's when I can solve problems, but often I find that the problems solve themselves if I'm willing to get out of the way. So what I'm repeating over and over again is the fact that it's our thinking that makes us unhappy, not our circumstances. Experiment with taking your thinking less seriously for 60 seconds at a time. See what happens and how you feel. Playing things safe is another huge problem with our generation. Like when I push the boundaries of my comfort, I tend to get anxious, afraid and worried. But after a while, the discomfort becomes comfortable. It becomes familiar. What changed? My thinking. When I let anxious thoughts pass, eventually my thinking returns to normal. But if I try to figure things out, I prolong the healing process. I've realized that to be fulfilled in life, I have to grow and challenge myself. To do that, I need to step outside of my comfort zone. I have to stop playing those things safe. There are no guarantees in this world. All I can do is follow my heart and be aware of my thinking. That's it. I'll have scary thoughts, but that's okay. I can still take one tiny step forward. So become aware of the fact that your being outside of your comfort zone is simply believing a different set of thoughts. You can always listen to your heart and take the next step. I can have wonderful relationships, do work I love and have life go swimmingly, but if one thing goes wrong and I focus on it and I make myself miserable about it, and the thing about life is that there will always be something wrong. The key to happiness isn't to get rid of your problems, but to learn to live with them, to notice how your thinking gets you into trouble. This doesn't mean I neglect problems. It doesn't mean that you don't think about your problems at all. You have to eventually find a solution, but it means that I don't stress over them. I solve them as well as I can, but I don't try to force solutions. Because you will notice that when you stop thinking, you're allowing your inner wisdom to help you. You often get solutions to problems when you're not thinking, such as when you're on a walk, washing dishes, meditating, or in the shower. I do my best when that I possibly can, and then I let it go. So you must notice your tendency to focus on the thoughts that tell you something is wrong. Rest your attention in the witness of those thoughts. You are not them. You can observe them and breathe. For years, I ran away from challenges because I saw them as obstacles to getting what I want. And I thought getting what I want would make me happy. But then something changed. I saw that these obstacles weren't obstacles, but stepping stones, helping me follow my calling. Instead of remaining in the habit of resisting obstacles, I get curious. I ask myself, what can I learn from this? Everything seems to have a purpose. The more I surrender to life, the more powerful I become. And to me, this surrender simply means not trying to figure out everything and to try and control life. Don't fight life. Embrace life. Become curious about the problems in your life. Don't rush to fix them. Let them be for a while and notice the results. Perhaps the biggest obstacle to happiness is neglecting your calling. When I neglect my heart, my purpose, my inner wisdom, I'm miserable.
And the way I neglect my calling is through thinking too much, thinking that something is wrong or that I am on the wrong track. When I notice this mental habit, I let it be and I take a deep breath. To follow my calling, I have to let go of what I think my path looks like. I can't figure out where my life is going all the time. I can only live it one moment at a time, and that's scary to my mind, but that's okay. I can let thoughts pass and I can rest my attention in my heart. But you must let go of what you think of your life should be and then let it become what it was meant to be. Live life one moment at a time, and it's all you can do anyway. Happiness is not something you go grab in a store, but it's something you are. What's stopping you from being happy is taking your thoughts too seriously. You have wisdom within you, waiting to guide you. All you have to do is let go and observe how you stop yourself from accessing it. It's not easy, it's practice. It's an everyday job. Sometimes it takes time, it takes months, it takes years. But notice that even the rush to get it right is a thought, and let that be. Do your best, follow your heart, remember to breathe. And if there is one problem that you think is stopping you from actually achieving your dreams, please do interact with us in the comments below. Make sure to like, share and subscribe this video if you think what we said in this video made any sense to you. I hope you're taking care of yourself. Stay hydrated and see you in the next episode of Words of Ages. Be sure to hit the bell icon. It helps us grow as a channel.